and
December. The eyes of most of the watching world.
We appreciate that.
As a non-league club before losing
still lacking up front
in the replay. Not too many academy prospects thrown in. Rodri needs rhythm, says Guardiola on his return to fitness, so he's in as well. It's a debut for 17-year-olds.
Well, I was listening to some conversation with Jack Fitzwater and Reece Cole, and all they're saying is
goals in last season's FA Cup run, including 2 against Forest in round 4. George Birch is also in this, and he did have a spell working as a loans manager with 3 clubs of the current 92 that Exeter had never faced, putting that right
in his league against Bodo Glimt. So massive games coming up for Pep Guardiola and Manchester City. And I would
rest and rotate. He has to a certain extent, but nothing like as much as many might have predicted. A French Cup final with Lyon a couple of seasons ago, looking for Semenyo early on. Haaland lurking in the middle. 4 matches for the Cherries in the last 12 days before his signing. He departed the place to produce that form to win some silverware. Certainly have. Until recently, they resided in the relegation zone. Up to 14th in the table.
With that ball, they've got to treasure it.
Wareham has it here in a really promising part of the pitch. Fell favourably at the feet of the number 9. It's deflected behind for the corner, but when it came his way, he might have been hoping for more from there.
Well, I'm sure he would have done, but this is
Jaden Wareham, 2-2 in the FA Cup in the early rounds, posing some which they have committed plenty. And it goes threateningly, and it's saved on the line by Trafford. He just shovels that over the top. What a chance for Liam Oakes, the 18-year-old. Almost had his moment for Exeter City. Another deeper delivery, which was out this time as far as Aitchison. Couldn't quite get his shot away.
Just looks a little bit of contact in holes. Your work rate's going to be exceptional this afternoon.
Semenyo going.
Assistant official is on this near side line as well, so both himself and the referee would have
become a big part of their fine recent form. Henty under Javi Gracia, he certainly made the Turkey helping it on for Semenyo, out by Fitzwater
to it, but it was already crossed the line.
It was agonising for Exeter, wasn't it, the manner in which it is what he needs them to do on a stage like this. Makeda for Manchester City, winning it well.
As we know with Makeda, not scared of coming on his favoured side as well.
He's been heavily involved early on, hasn't he?
That ball early into Wareham hasn't materialised, it came back.
And on loan at Bolton Wanderers.
Yes, you mentioned about Donnarumma being on the bench. There's also seen Erling Haaland in the flesh.
Exeter giving as good as they're getting for the majority of what they've had early encouragement, haven't they, in that respect. Now after going behind, they have to turn the ball back again really well here. Aitchison was trying to stay on side. Strong get better than they are used to facing.
But goalkeeper does really well.
To stop McAdoo. He's lost his regular starting spot at right back to Mateus Nunes over the course of the first.
City manager, the opening 20 minutes.
As Reinders getting to it first, just ahead of Fitzwater, who stuck to his task, did well.
Apart from that one incident where they should have cleared the ball, I think he'd be delighted the way they've gone about their business so far, academy football. But then, you know, he goes to Bristol City.
McAdoo comes forward here. Options ahead of him, but equally plenty back in red and white. It comes for Semenyo. And then for Rodri. Oh, let's rip. And doubles the lead. That's some strike from the skipper. 2-0 Manchester City. And seemingly on course for maybe relatively routine progress. Doesn't tell the whole story of the game's opening quarter. But they are well on track here. Manchester City. Another step on Rodri's road to rehabilitation after injury. For so long on the sidelines. Just glad he says to be playing again, and he's got a big smile on his face here.
Well, welcome back, Rodri. But really starts because Semenyo comes inside, he wants to receive the ball, gets good in all 4 competitions. They still have a good opportunity of completing something there. Very hard to replace. And when he's on the ball, he just looks so silky, doesn't he? On the left-hand side as well. But Exter.
Since 2015 against Middlesbrough in this competition.
I think everyone in the world knows about the FA Cup.
But he asked Fletcher for permission to use their training base, was the under-18s coach at Old Trafford. He's since got a bit busier with the football. With McAdoo flashing a glimpse of goal for himself. Not quite able to trouble the target, but full of attacking intent.
No, and you might get some senior pros, thanks.
It was deflected behind almost as soon as it left his boot, as Manchester City looked for Semenyo. Of course, there is a
Forest. Finger. Great family they are.
For Erling Haaland. Annoyed by Whitworth. He has a little glance in the referee's direction as he went down, feeling he was prevented from picking up the pieces there. McAdoo. Plenty packing the penalty area. And he was away from position this season. Now here goes Cherky. It's a strong surge from him. Covered good ground. Okay, Lewis goes square for Rodri, who tries to return it to him. Lewis in first time where less so recently. Okay, Lewis.
In the Stoke City goal. Wilson tested again.
This one, Fitzwater going up. That's unlucky. It's snuck in.
Just needed the slight change in angle.
Manchester City have their 3rd goal before half-time here.
And it was actually
Nathan Ake is the one taking the celebrations from his teammates, taking their reclaim.
Wilson will tell you
the one on the end of the corner, but again, Exeter so frustrated at the way that it went in.
Well, once again, I have to look at the goalkeeper. I mentioned before, he's not the tallest of keepers. And maybe this is something that Pep Guardiola has seen. When this corner comes in, you've got Semenyo trying to...
Plenty packing the penalty area. And he was away from position this season. Now here goes Cherky. It's a strong surge from him. Covered good ground. Okay, Lewis goes square for Rodri, who tries to return it to him. Lewis in first time where less so recently. Okay, Lewis.
If Exter came here and got themselves a draw,
won the ball back.
You know it goes to...
showed good in the Stoke City goal. Wilson tested again.
This one, Fitzwater going up. That's unlucky. It's snuck in.
Just needed the slight change in angle.
Manchester City have their 3rd goal before half-time here.
And it was actually
Nathan Ake is the one taking the celebrations from his teammates, taking their reclaim.
Wilson will tell you
the one on the end of the corner, but again, Exeter so frustrated at the way that it went in.
Well, once again, I have to look at the goalkeeper. I mentioned before, he's not the tallest of keepers. And maybe this is something that Pep Guardiola has seen. When this corner comes in, you've got Semenyo trying to block.
And Niskanen is in behind Nathan Ake. Niskanen, a whisker away. So close to a swift response after the under pressure. And Manchester City have it back in dangerous territory here. Reinders trying to cut it back, and it's in for another one. And the misfortune continues for Exeter City in the way that the goals are going in. But the home team are surely out of sight before half-time. That is 4-0.